Hi YouTube, here is a tentative tier list for 14.10 after playing the patch. In this video, I'm going to be going over what appears to be strong on the patch, as well as my favorite builds for some of the popular support. Let's get right into it. So the most overpowered item on this patch is the new AP item, Blackfire Torch, which I'm expecting to get hotfix nerfed. For a cheap price of 2800, you can get 90 AP, 25 ability haste, and a bunch of mana. But that's not all. Your abilities also burn people, and you gain percentage HP for each person burned. Due to the cheap price point, this is affordable for mage supports. The best abuser for this is Brand, but champions like Vel'Koz and Zyra also benefit from this as well. The build path for these champions are Sork Boots, Blackfire Torch into Liandry's. The next most broken thing on this patch are AD carries. Anything that builds Collector and IE well are simply two-shotting people with auto attack. The support we have that can utilize the AD carry builds well is Senna, and I'm about to share my favorite build with you guys. This is my Jack of all trades Senna build. At 10 unique stats granted by items, this rune grants 15 AD and 10 ability haste, which is around 1k gold worth of stats that she uses well. You can get 3 stacks from the support item, another 3 from Merc Treads, 2 from Rectrix, 1 from Dirk, and here's the trick. You get the last one by getting Dagger before completing Opportunity to spike super early into the game. You finish off the build by going Opportunity into Zeal. Zeal is now back to being an almost 140% cost efficient item. Then you complete the RFC followed by IE. By the point you build IE, you should already have 100% crit from souls. This build is relatively cheap besides the IE, and you'll be getting gold back from the cashback rune to be able to afford everything. Now, if you watched my patch preview video, you probably remember me mentioning that enchanters would probably be the best archetype on the patch. However, in reality, tank supports are matching them in win rate according to the early data that we do have. There's a couple reasons why I think this is the case. One is a last minute buff they added to Knight's Vow, where the redirected damage is now reduced by the buyer's armor and MR. This made a change that was initially power neutral, now a buff to an item that was already extremely powerful. Pair that with the peel that it provides to the powerful AD carries, and vice versa. This makes Knight's Vow indisputably the best support item on this patch. And that's crazy considering it was also the best last patch. So next up is flexible itemization. A change we overlooked was the mini Abyssal Mask rework that reduced the price to an affordable 2300 gold. Now tank supports can go any combination of Locket, Knight's Vow, Zeke's, and Abyssal Mask depending on what their team needs, and they can have lots of tankiness and utility to provide. The big winners that can utilize all of these items well are Rel and Leona. Lastly, I noticed with the power creep and increased damage in the game, enchanters can get one shot more easily than before they can really have a meaningful contribution to the fight. That being said, I still think enchanters are great because they serve to buff up the strong AD carries and keep them alive. A question we had before the patch was, how strong would Helia and Dawncore be? And I tried Helia pretty extensively, and my conclusion is that Helia is primarily the enchanter item you want to go if you want to focus on early game. It's strong early, especially with the buff shard values, but what you have to realize is the shards do not get scaled value into late game, and it becomes hard to notice any impact that the item is having later on. I think for Nami, it is her clear first best item, followed by getting a mandate second. This is because Shrelia's is nerfed, so she doesn't feel like she has to get it second now. But for Sona, I have a hard time valuing Helia over something that gives more survivability like the Seraph's Embrace. In my games, it's been kind of hard to test Dawncore because it is pretty expensive. But according to the stats, it is a very high win rate item. I feel like that's mainly because if you can afford it, you probably were winning the game regardless. Dawncore will fit right in with champions that primarily focus on healing and shielding, such as Sona, Soraka, and Milio. So for Sona, your build is going to be Archangels, Moonstone into Dawncore 3rd. For Soraka, it's going to be Redemption first, into Moonstone, into Dawncore 3rd. And for Milio, it's going to be Sensor, Moonstone, Dawncore. That's because Milio focuses more on primarily buffing a single target. I think that about covers my current understanding of the patch. As always, if you have any questions about builds or champions, you can always comment them down below. I read all of the comments. Sorry if I might have rambled a bit on this video. I haven't been getting good sleep this week. So anyways, I hope this vid was able to help you guys, and have a good rest of the day.